Hello there. In this video, we're taking an early look at the 2024 Senate map. Our prediction in 2022 was 100% accurate, so we've set a high bar for ourselves. We don't have much polling data this early on, so we're going to have to rely on three main things: incumbency, approval ratings, and historical trends. First, I want to touch on incumbency since I think it's way too overlooked. In 2022, 100% of incumbent senators were re-elected. Since 1980, incumbent senators have a re-election rate of 75% or higher. The incumbency edge is very important. Don't overlook it. We're going to start by going state by state, working our way from east to west. There are timestamps in the section below the subscribe button if you want to skip around the more competitive states. We're going to start in Maine. Incumbent Angus King has said he's planning to seek re-election. King has historically held strong approvals with Maine voters, and he easily won re-election in 2018. I don't see any surprises here. We're going to give this safe to the Democrats. King is an independent, but he does caucus with the Democrats. In Vermont, similar story. Bernie Sanders is seeking re-election. He's an independent that caucuses with the Democrats, and he will win easily. In Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren is running for re-election. In 2018, she ran behind other Massachusetts Democrats in statewide elections, but she still received more than 60% of the vote. Expect another comfortable victory for Democrats here. In Connecticut, incumbent Democrat Chris Murphy is running for re-election. He is going to win easily, as is incumbent Democrat Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island. He received more than 61% of the vote in 2018. He is going to win easily. And that brings us to New Jersey. We finally have something to talk about. Incumbent Democrat Bob Menendez has not officially declared his candidacy, but two other candidates, a social worker named Christina Khalil and the mayor of Roselle Park, Joe Signorello, have. Menendez is under federal investigation, and that could be why he hasn't declared yet. But New Jersey voters haven't elected a Republican senator since 1972, so despite some uncertainty, I am making New Jersey safe blue. In Delaware, incumbent Democrat Tom Carper is still undecided if he'll seek re-election. If he doesn't run, expect Lisa Blunt Carpenter, who represents Delaware's at-large seat, to run and win. Delaware is a safe Democratic state. In Maryland, incumbent Democrat Ben Cardin is still on the fence about running. The only Republican I think who could stand a chance is the state's former governor, Larry Hogan, but he has already declined to run. We'll give Maryland to the Democrats. It is a safe state. Let's head back north to New York, my home state, where Kirsten Gillibrand has declared a re-election campaign. Some are speculating that Lee Zeldin may run and could even win, but I strongly disagree with them. I have New York safe for the Democrats. All right, let's talk about Pennsylvania. I appreciate everyone who stuck through those safe states, and if you did, please hit that like button. Helps this channel out tremendously. Incumbent Democrat Bob Casey has expressed interest in running for re-election, but he hasn't officially declared. He was recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, but underwent a successful surgery in February. If Casey runs again, I think Democrats are in a good position to hold this seat. On the GOP side, some familiar names have expressed interest in running. The first is Doug Mastriano, who ran for governor in Pennsylvania and got absolutely clobbered by Josh Shapiro. If Mastriano wins the GOP nomination, Pennsylvania immediately looks better for Democrats. The other GOP contender is David McCormick, who narrowly lost the GOP Senate primary in 2022 to Dr. Oz. He's a bit more of a moderate Republican and the stronger general election candidate, in my opinion. So looking at the full picture, we have a seat currently held by Democrats in a state where Democrats have pulled off big victories in 2022 and 2024. I'm putting Pennsylvania in the lean Democrat column for now. West Virginia is another interesting state. The incumbent is Democrat Joe Manchin, but he hasn't made a firm decision on whether or not he'll run again. And let's be clear, if Manchin doesn't run again, this seat is going to flip. For what it's worth, Manchin is the second most unpopular senator in his home state. On the GOP side, some strong candidates have declared their candidacies or expressed interest, including Alex Mooney, the House rep from the state's 2nd Congressional District, and Jim Justice, the state's current governor. Patrick Morrisey, West Virginia's current Attorney General, who ran and lost to Manchin by 3.3% in 2018, has expressed interest in running again. I think all three pose a serious threat to Joe Manchin or whoever the Democrats decide to run Even Patrick Morrisey's 2018 was a major blue wave year. For now, I have West Virginia lean Republican as it's a deep red state and the GOP has a lot of solid candidates lined up. In Virginia, incumbent Democrat and 2016 vice presidential nominee Tim Kaine is running for re-election. He received 57% of the vote in 2018. I have this race as lean Democrat for right now, but things could get interesting if Glenn Youngkin decides to run against him. Let's head to Tennessee, where incumbent Republican Marsha Blackburn has filed paperwork to run again in 2024. The GOP will easily hold on to this seat, safe Republican. And the same is true in Mississippi. Incumbent Republican Roger Wicker has declared a re-election campaign. In Florida, what was once a swing state is no more. Incumbent Republican Rick Scott is running for re-election. He narrowly defeated Bill Nelson in 2018, and since then, Florida has taken a hard right turn. It's hard to imagine Scott losing Florida, especially if Ron DeSantis is the GOP presidential nominee. I have Florida as likely Republican. Let's head north to Ohio, which will probably be the most competitive Senate race in 2024. Incumbent Democrat Sherrod Brown is running for re-election, and he has a positive net approval rating. However, we've seen Ohio take a hard right turn in recent election cycles. Trump won Ohio in 2016 and 2020. J.D. Vance, a fairly mediocre general election candidate in my opinion, handily beat Tim Ryan. The third place finisher in the 2022 GOP primary, Matt Dolan, has already declared his candidacy. Dolan did have some high-profile endorsements in 2022, including Bob Taft, the 67th governor of Ohio. Can the strong incumbent buck recent state trends? I'm not sure, but I have Brown as the slight favorite for right now. I'm very curious to see how much money is going to be spent on this race. In Michigan, incumbent Democrat Debbie Stabenow isn't seeking re-election, which could help make this race slightly more competitive. Democratic House Rep Alyssa Slotkin has already declared a candidacy, while no serious GOP candidates have emerged. Michigan is a competitive state, but it has been leaning blue in recent years. For now, I think Michigan leans towards the Democrats, and Stabenow's endorsement should carry some weight. In Indiana, incumbent Republican Mike Braun has chosen to run for governor. Only lone Republican, House Representative Jim Banks, has declared his candidacy, and he already has a ton of endorsements, including Donald Trump, 8 U.S. senators, and 3 House reps. Jim Banks being elected the next Indiana senator is the likeliest outcome, and I have Indiana likely Republican for now. In Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin is up for re-election. She hasn't officially declared her candidacy, but she has expressed interest. Baldwin won comfortably in 2018, and she has a 0 net favorability. It really reflects how divided Wisconsin is. However, we saw Democrats slightly overperform in Wisconsin in 2022, and they just secured a major Supreme Court victory in the state. I have Wisconsin lean Democrat for now. In Minnesota, incumbent Democrat Amy Klobuchar is up for re-election. She received 60% of the vote in 2018 and maintains very strong approval ratings among Minnesota Democrats. She's going to win this seat by double digits, safe Democrat. In Missouri, incumbent Republican Josh Hawley is running for re-election. He defeated incumbent Democrat Claire McCaskill in 2018. Hawley has strong approvals among Republicans, and Missouri has become more conservative over the past several years. I expect Hawley to win this race, but keep an eye on the Democratic primary. Lucas Kunce, the runner-up in the 2022 Democratic Senate primary, has already declared his candidacy. He could prove to be a strong candidate, but not strong enough in my opinion. I have Missouri likely Republican. And I also have Texas as likely Republican. Ted Cruz is up for re-election. He had a closer than expected race versus Beto O'Rourke in 2018, but I doubt we'll see a stronger candidate or a more positive environment for Democrats in Texas than we saw in 2018. Let's head north to Nebraska. For the first time since 1954, both of Nebraska's Senate seats are up at the same time. Incumbent Republican Deb Fischer will win the regular election. That's safe Republican. While Republican Pete Ricketts, who was appointed to complete the term of Ben Sasse, will win the special election. They are both safe Republican. North Dakota will also be safe Republican, but we're not sure who that Republican will be, as incumbent Kevin Cramer has not yet filed for re-election. Let's knock out the remaining safe races before talking about the competitive ones. Wyoming is safe for Republicans regardless of whether or not John Barrasso runs for re-election. In Utah, Mitt Romney hasn't officially declared a re-election campaign. If he doesn't run, look for former U.S. Rep. Jason Chaffetz to throw his hat in the ring. Regardless, this one is safe Republican. That's 50 seats for the GOP, just one shy of a majority. New Mexico is safe for Democrats, as Martin Heinrich is running for re-election. California is also safe for Democrats, but it might get a bit ugly between Katie Porter, Adam Schiff, and Barbara Lee. Hawaii, safe for Democrats, and Washington, safe for Democrats. Alright, can we talk about some interesting states here, like Nevada? Democrat Jackie Rosen is running for re-election. 2 Republican candidates have announced, but they probably won't be serious contenders. One person we know isn't running is Adam Laxalt, who nearly defeated Catherine Cortez Masto in 2022. The runner-up in the 2022 GOP primary, Sam Brown, has publicly expressed interest in running. Rosen's current approval rating is net +1, and she did unseat an incumbent in 2018, but as we've said repeatedly, that was a blue wave year. We've seen Democrats pull out narrow victories in Nevada in recent elections, and for now, I think that trend holds. I'm going to make this safe Democrat. Let's talk about Montana next. Jon Tester is running again, which is great news for Democrats. He has a net +30 approval rating among Montana voters. That's just huge. Tester has been hanging on by narrow margins since getting elected in 2006 when he unseated Republican incumbent Conrad Burns. No GOP candidates have declared, but a lot of strong candidates have expressed interest, including the state's Attorney General Austin Knudsen, the GOP's 2018 nominee Matt Rosendale, and House Rep. Ryan Zinke. For now, I think Montana leans towards the Democrats due to Tester's strong favorables and incumbency edge. And finally, Arizona. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. You can help this channel out a lot by subscribing. Click that big subscribe button below this video. Kyrsten Sinema is no longer a Democrat. She's now an independent, and she's running for re-election. Democratic House Rep. Ruben Gallego is running for the Democratic nomination, and Pinal County Sheriff Mark Lamb is likely running for the GOP nomination. Carrie Lake, Blake Masters, and Karen Taylor Robson have also expressed interest. Overall, Sinema has a net -11 approval rating, making her tied for the 3rd least popular senator in the country. However, the person she's tied with is Ron Johnson, who did get reelected in 2022. That's the power of incumbency and a bunch of money. Here's how voter registration breaks down in Arizona. 34% are Republicans, 34% are independents, and 30% are Democrats. How things play out here is anyone's guess right now. The conventional wisdom is that Gallego and Sinema will split liberal votes, allowing the GOP candidate to cruise to victory. Some polls conducted earlier this year by Ohio Predictive Insights found Gallego leading in a 3-way race against Sinema and the top GOP candidates. Right now, here's how I see things playing out. Democrats consolidate around Gallego, or whoever the Democrat nominee ends up being. Republicans consolidate around their nominee, while independents split roughly evenly 3 ways, giving the GOP the most narrow of edges. I am making Arizona lean Republican right now. The GOP has a golden opportunity to win back the Senate. If they blow it, they need to do some serious soul searching. 51 GOP senators to 49 Democratic senators. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments section below. And check out this video next for a more in-depth look at the Montana Senate race. Thanks for watching.